Okay, I'm back. Dog is calm and rules are understood. We have reached a nirvana of understanding how to resolve this. Okay, so one key thing here is we are on day 16. So we only do method A only. So method B is not even used. So that's good. I did learn that method A is meant to basically expand the enemy or expand the allied lines of protection, and method B is to mount a counter attack. But basically, we're looking for an empty position that is in the area for the core and able to trace supply, which shouldn't be an issue. Almost all the areas are going to trace supply. The German unit proximate means that a German unit, if it spends all of its movement points, can reach that position in one move action. So that's what that means. So you got to be within a German unit's movement points. Then we check that it's not in danger of surround. It did not really define what that means, other than maybe, you're just not going to put it somewhere where it can be surrounded completely. It did not define it. So I'm going to assume we're not going to let it get flanked. How about that? So if there's 3 or more German units next to that spot, next, it can't be a German-held city or town, which is not going to be too much of an issue. Then, finally, it's not allowed to be adjacent to another ally. So that's the other weird thing. With the one key exception of if it's a 5 or a 6, then it can be. Well, I'm going to do a quick look over here, and you can see there's no 5s or 6 along the entire line, so we don't have to worry about that. So it can't be next to an allied unit. So we already know that this is out, that's out, that's out. That's a town, so it can't go there. As far as movement goes, I'm going to assume that since it's across the river, this wouldn't even be, like it couldn't go here, right? Because it would have to use all its movement just to get there, and then it can't actually get to here. We do have a German unit here, so like, could it go here, for example? Because we could move to there. I'm going to say no, because the zone of control from both of this guy and that guy prevents me from getting there in one movement. So I'm going to say that this whole south is out. Out and out. And these back here are also out because it can't, with the way the zone of control is. However, here is in. And so they give you these little markers, which I think is interesting. But so, for example, that, let me back it up a little bit more. This is in because I have a unit here that's already across the river, and I could move here, there, and there. Pretty easy peasy. And so that would also be in. And in fact, all of these would be in. I mean, I can go there, or even all the way back here. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? You know what? I can save myself a whole bunch of time. I'm supposed to make sure that they can only deploy within their core zone. So look at here. You can see that the U.S. core is this yellow line that goes up to this squiggly. So that squiggly is here, so it's this line south. So we're in the right zone. So I'm not going to fill this whole map with tokens, but just about all these spots that are within 5 spaces are eligible. And if I keep going, even up to here, there's another eligible spot right there. So it's not in a city, but it's also not next to a U.S. unit. However, there's no German unit that can move there. So it's here. These are the only spots that we can go. So it's going to be empty position in its core area, able to trace allied supply, and not next to another unit. So then what I'm going to do is I would place this one here, like this, okay? And then what's crazy then is that changes it, right? This is no longer eligible, that's no longer, so I mean I can do those two, basically. And the reason I would do that is because I don't want them next to each other. I'm assuming that once I place this one, then this one has to follow the same rules and it can't go next to him. So they're staggered a little bit, but they're on hold positions, which I think is higher priority than these clear open areas. And because this tank busted through, those are what's eligible. Now I would tell you that up here would need some guys, because we did bust through up here, but that's, remember, the core's line is this squiggly line right here. So that's their reinforcement and that's their impulse. Well, actually, good question. Do they go up to 5 as well? Ooh, I didn't even pay attention to that. Oh, come on. It would be on the back of the rule book. Draw the top allied command card. Conduct the first applicable command. Yep, it says it's a German impulse, so it's over. So now it goes to our turn. And, well, I forgot to mess with this, but the one that I triggered was the LXXX. So that one was triggered, and these two are now available for us. So I'll just put those over here. So we only have one group that can't action or operate, and that's fine. That group's sort of pretty weak anyways. And I think our best bet is going to be to cut them off from supply and communication. Okay, so we want to do some hurt. The fact that these guys reinforced here hurts a little bit. But you can see here that we made it across the bridge. We have a unit that's almost destroyed. We have this whole set of units that's just ready to put a can of whoop butt on everybody. So that's, I think, where we're at here. So I think I would really like to get these guys going. And then those yellow ones up there. I think those are the two core groups that I should be doing my thrust with. And I'm thinking I may want to do, you know, like alternate. One this turn, one next turn, and go from there. So how do I tell if that's the 5th Panzer Army or the 6th Panzer Army? Because they're dark. That's the 5th Panzer Army. Okay, so I think I want to do the 5th Panzer Army because I want to punch them in the mouth here. We're going to go, actually, we're going to punch them in the gut. We're going to go right through the middle. So that's what I want to do. So I'm going to play this card right here. And I'm going to do... So what's interesting is I could do a camp group, which then would allow me to activate this guy and this guy, but I would really only get to activate... Oh, yep. I'm going to do a camp group. So that is a special token. And what I'm thinking of doing is right here. And so camp group lets everything within 2 spaces within that army. And then remember, the army is the 5th army here. So this whole core and this whole core is going to activate. So as they would say in the Dukes of Hazzard, yeehaw! I can just picture German people doing that right now. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go big and get jiggy with it. So, what do I do next? Okay, I think this is where I do my movement and my attacks. So I do have a wounded unit here. This one, I have to be careful because I can't move to there because that's in zone of control. Sorry, I just got a text and was distracted. These three, we no longer have the traffic jam on the bridge. So I want to get this guy out of here. And I think I can because I can move here. And this is a woods, which costs 3 movement of his 5. And then this is broken, which costs 2. So I'm going to just move him up like so. You know, ding and ding. Now, there's all kinds of craziness that happens. Like when I go next to or into these little hold spots, it's possible that they may, it may cause things to happen. And here, let me just get this out and show you. There's so many player aids, I'm losing my mind. Where's the allied one? There we go, Allied System Intelligence. That's the one I'm looking for. Okay, so they got this really cool table. And basically, it's a procedure. When you do move in combat, we have to do a bridge demolition check on turn 17 or later if you enter a hex bordered by a bridge in Allied supply. Okay, so no worries there. If we do a move in combat, we have to do a roadblock check when a German unit enters a hex next to an empty in-supply position hex with a road. In-supply position hex with a road, okay. It has to be empty, and if you enter a hex next to it. And then here at the start of activation, if there were roadblocks, we'd have to do stuff. So, it's I see. Okay, so this is a position hex, but it's not in a road. So I don't do anything about that. But if I would have gone next to this spot, I would have to check because that's an empty in supply position hex on a road. Boy, there's a lot you got to do in this game. Yeah, then I would have to do a roadblock check in that situation, but I didn't do that, so there's no worries. But yes, I can't stress enough how convoluted this gets. Okay, so this guy is wounded, so I need to be careful with him, but I'm just going to move him across. And then these guys are all going to go over the bridge because they're allowed to now. And we're going to enter this spot, and they will attack here. This one is not attacking because that is actually a higher strength unit than we are, so we don't want to do that. But that was the cool thing about this camp group is I'm going to get all these guys going here. So now, like this guy's got a similar situation. I want to get these guys across a river to attack him. So what he's going to do is nothing, because he can't move this way or that way. He's stuck. So these two are going to cross the river, and we actually stay within our step limit. So they'll support him there. And then I have these two tanks that are sitting here on this bridge. They can't do anything because of this. However, they could... Nope, they can't move there either. So then we have this guy who can move 1, 2... And then the west wall is 3, 4, 5. And this is 1, 2, 3 to move there. And these guys are all 3 just to get into that spot there. So this being in the woods here, they move slow. And then of course we have a river and all kinds of stuff we have to contend with. So not quite as many guys as I wanted. I wanted to get these guys there. Actually, no, this guy, oh crap, where was he? He was here on 1706. So I could actually do 3 to here and then 4 to there. You're allowed to go over your stacking limit temporarily. So there was no reason he had to move here. He could have just moved straight to here and then to there. And then these guys started here. And yeah, it would have taken them 3 here. And then they can actually go 4, 5. So I can actually do 4, 5. Oh, but can I? If I move here, that's in his zone of control. I can't then also move there. So that's the reason why this guy was stuck back here. He's stuck back here because of zone of control. I can't move these guys over to there because that's moving within this zone of control. So I need to take this punk out is really what I'm trying to say. All right, so let's do that. We're going to attack now, and then I have to add some joyful things to it. So I'm just looking. I'm going to add fixed artillery. Now, here's my next question. Is this per attack, or is this for the whole action, whole impulse? So this combat, fixed artillery, I think I have to pick which attack or which battle this is for, don't I? I'm going to do it for this one. And then I do have a reinforced battle, but I don't know where I would move to reinforce. So I'm going to leave it be. So yeah, I'm going to call it quits there. And let's see if we can resolve this. We are across the river, and he is not in an improved position or a town, and he's pretty weak. He's got 1 single step. So we have 3 units, so it's 3 chits, and then it's 4, 7, and 4 is 11 to 2. So that's what, 5 to 1? And yeah, 5 to 1. And let's see. We're going to draw a minimum of 1. Oh, I got to check. So am I really going to do the artillery on that one? 5 to 1 odds are pretty good. Yeah, I will. All right, so minimum of 3. We get 1 for our combat tactic for 4. We do have elite units for 5. There's nobody with 3 or 4 steps. Nobody's out of supply. So 5. Chits. So we have to draw a minimum of 1. So let's do that first. All right. We are greater than 4 to 1. Yes. So we have 1 hit on him. And I'm going to go up to 5. Oh, should I? This is actually quite dangerous. Yeah, because he's going to get to retreat twice. Yeah, let's take him out. So here's 2, 3, 4, 5. So defender artillery, no. Attacker artillery, yes, there's another hit. We are not less than 1.5. We are greater than 2 to 1. There's another hit. Is it a city or a forest? Yes, it is a forest. So he removes a hit. Only attacker has combined arms. That is true. Only defender combined arms. So it's only us that has combined arms. Now, how do you know you have combined arms? It's got a couple cool things. The first one is you got this mechanized versus non-mechanized. Well, actually, that doesn't help you. But the better way is just look at the unit. I mean, the unit here, that's a symbol for infantry. So he's just infantry. And then this one does have a picture of a tank on it. And so you may think, okay, well, that's armor. But if you see here, this little symbol right here at the edge of my thumb, that's an armor symbol. And then this symbol that my thumb just scooched up to, that's an infantry symbol. So it shows that it's, yes, it is a tank, but it's accompanied by infantry. So this is a combined arms. So that unit is a combined arms unit. And then, of course, we do have infantry here, which also makes it combined arms. So even if these were just pure tanks, we do have infantry with them. But it doesn't matter. We're combined arms in more than one way. So here's what I got. I got this cancels this, and we did 3 hits to him. So according to the rules, if I understood them correctly, he's always going to check to see, did he withdraw twice, right? That's the first thing he's going to look for. And I got too many player aids in front of me here. So has he already retreated 2 hexes? No, he hasn't. Is the hits greater than his steps? Yes. So he's going to retreat 1. And then he's going to do that again. So he'll retreat twice. So I'm going to get rid of 2 of these because we already know he's going to retreat twice. So where's he going to retreat to? Well, he will go here because that's where the blue arrow points. So there's 1 and then there's 2, like so. And then he will if he's already retreated to, oh, he just takes damage, so he's destroyed. So he's out of the game, and that's the final hit. Okay, so then we get to do advance. So we would advance to here, and somebody mentioned something about if a retreating unit is destroyed, it's no longer considered retreating. Oh, it was on YouTube comments, but then I don't remember what they meant to say. Give me a second. Let me see if I can look it up real quick. Okay, one thing that's not intuitive, but has been confirmed by Mr. Butterfield. If all the enemy defenders are completely destroyed, do not leave a path of retreat. It didn't matter in this case, but it does mean that when an enemy is eliminated, the second hex in a 2-hex advance could not be from a hex in enemy zone of control to another hex in enemy zone control. Since the defender's hex didn't have another enemy unit putting a zone of control into its hex, this wasn't an issue in your first attack, but it's something to keep in mind. Okay, so we do have zone of control here, but I think I can do that advance because there was no zone of control in this spot. Correct me if I interpreted that wrong, but I think what it's trying to say is since we defeated the unit completely and there was no path of retreat, normally I would just get to plow right through the path of retreat, but in this case, since he's completely eliminated, I have to be mindful of zone of control if I'm doing my movement. And so I moved here to vacate the spot that I attacked, or the spot that was vacated. I moved there, but there is no zone of control here. And so then I moved here, which is the first time I'm in a zone of control. So I think that's okay. Let me know if I misunderstood that. All right, so now we're going to do this next one. And I'm going to play another artillery card, although I may not, because that Eisenhower Hesitates looks like a pretty cool... Well, I can't do that until turn 17, or December 17th anyways. I'm playing it. Screw this. Well, Eisenhower Hesitates might be decent. I have no idea. I've never played this game before. I would think that delaying reserve units is always a good thing. Screw it. I'm going to play the artillery. So let's just be done with it. Okay, so here's our situation. Parents away on a week's vacation. We have an improved position, 3 strength unit here. And that is not a town. And then we are across the river here. So these are full strength, 3, 6, 9, okay? And then these are half strength, 7 and 4 is 11. I'm assuming I have to round down, so that would be 5 plus 9 is 14 to 3. So that's what, 4 to 1 odds? Yeah, almost 5. actually, since we're doing fractions here, I'm going to do this the proper way. So 9 plus 11 divided by 2 is 14.5 divided by 3. That's still not quite enough to get the 5-to-1 odds. So 4-to-1 odds is what we got. I have a whole bunch of chits here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're starting with 6 already. This combat card makes it 7. And then I have an elite unit, which makes it 8. And nothing else. I don't think anybody has 4 steps. This guy did have 4 steps, or maybe he didn't. Anyways, we're at 8 chits, but the minimum chit draw is 2, so let's draw 2. It's getting pretty barren in the cupboard here. All right, so here's 2. Is the attacker green? No, we're definitely not green. Is the attacker elite? Yes, it is. So he takes a hit. And flank attack. Yes, we are flanking him. Or 1 hex attack. Yep, it's a flank. So we got 2 hits on him already. Let's press it on, but I can go up to 8. Do I really want to go all the way up to 8? If I do, I'm increasing the risk I'm going to get hit. See, I don't have enough experience with this game to know what the right choice is here. I already got 2 hits in, so that's his 2 retreats. And then I just need 2 more hits to finish him off. So that would put me to 4 out of the 8. I'm going to draw all 8. Let's overkill this sucker. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right, attacker has artillery, yes. Are we greater than 8-to-1? No, we're not. Are we greater than 4-to-1? Yes. Are we greater than 1.5-to-1? Yes. What's the other side say? So here we take a hit. Greater than 6-to-1? No. Is there a combat engineer? No. So that one's out. Greater than 8-to-1? No. Greater than 3 to or less than 3-to-1? No. So that one's out. And he is in broken. Let me check. He's in broken, so that doesn't apply. He's not in clear, so that's out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I think I needed all 8, and I'm still not sure I have enough, because this is 1 hit on us, so I'm going to have to resolve that. But the important thing, though, is that this hit is eliminated because he had an improved position. So that cancels the first hit. So the improved position is out. And then these 2 are going to be retreats, because the number of hits is greater than his steps. So it's a pretty simple formula. It only becomes wonky if your number of hits is less than the number of steps he has. So he's going to retreat twice. And as long as we're not moving into German zone of control, he just follows the triangles here. So 1, 2, okay? And so then we get to this next step. There's 2 hits left, and he's already retreated twice, and it's just flat out, he loses a step. So bing and bing, those are the final 2 hits, and he is eliminated. So we're very, very excited about that. And then we have to apply a hit to one of ours. And it's my understanding I get to it's dealer's choice. I get to hit anybody I want. I've been hitting my infantry and preserving my tanks. I don't know if that's a smart move or not, but that's what I've been doing. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that guy. Although he does become a bracket. They both do. Thing is everybody else is elite. I don't want to damage an elite guy. So we'll do that. And now we get to do advance, right? So all these guys can... Now, somebody pointed out that if he retreats twice, he gets dispersed. That is true. I have yet to have somebody retreat twice that... Oh, no way. Right here. No. I don't think anybody's retreated twice. Well, I think maybe one of those guys did, didn't they? When we attacked here, I think one of those guys, well, did this guy retreat or that one? I don't think they did. He's not in his starting spot though. This is 0606, so that is his starting spot. And then this guy came in from the reserves, so I think, yeah, I think we're fine. Okay, so with that being said, let's go back to this. We could do some advances here, and this is the part, I think, where we have to be careful. So, for example, I have to advance into the vacating hex here, but as soon as I advanced into there, see this 3 right here? I have triggered a check that I have to do. Because that 3 is on a road, it's empty, and it's next to us. So let's see. Roadblock check. So normally I would do a bridge demolition check, but that doesn't happen here. I'm assuming that the advance after combat does trigger these checks. So anyways, roll a die. When a German unit is moving, advancing, or reinforcing, enters a hex adjacent to an empty insupplied position hex, but not adjacent to any other unit other than the moving unit. That would be the case here. If the die is less than or equal to hold value, it gets a roadblock marker. If it's greater than, nothing happens. And if it's a 5 or a 6, it's automatic. So it's not a 5 or a 6, so let's roll. I rolled a 7, so nothing happens. And then we're going to go ahead and move forward to here. And that is a 3. So we got to check again. I rolled a 4, so nothing happens. And then I'm going to claim this as a bridge. I'm pretty sure I get to do that because there's no ally here after that check. And then we have this destroyed bridge here. So that means I can move the units across, but then they're stuck. But the good news is they're all 2 steps each, so I can just stack them up in a nice pile. And everybody else, of course, is still sitting pretty. All right, so that puts us to 7, which would end our impulse. And I am drawing a card, but I can't draw to a full hand. I can only draw to 4 cards. So I need to check to see if that ends the day. There was only 1 card left in the draw pile. And then draw from your draw pile to bring your hand up to 6. Repeat impulses until your hand and your draw pile are exhausted. End the phase with an allied impulse, after which the day ends. And I think I always have the option to just say I'm done for the day. But yes, I can keep going with the cards that are in my hand. So that's good. And what I'm excited about is we punched a hole in the middle of the gut here, and we made it through. But I don't know what to do now. I mean, so do I start moving? Like away? And here's the other weird thing. Sorry, I took a drink there. See this little dark bar? There's a dark bar along the edge there. I know it's hard for you to read, but it basically says the German 5th Panzer Army, which are these dark units. And remember, they have to stay within their there. So you can see the squiggly line here. I don't think I can go south. And that's another rule check I would have to do. But they're restricted to stay within their zone. And as much as I would like to swing south and just put a clamp on these jerks down here in the south here, I'm not sure I can. And that's the part I'm looking up right now. And of course I don't remember where it is. Okay, so from rules perspective, the Allies are considered to have a gap in the line because we punched a hole and we can trace German communication from the east map edge all the way to the west map edge. So the game system controls the Allies in such a way to attempt to keep the line free of gaps. If gaps appear, to close them or keep them from enlarging. And then your goal as the German player, of course, is to create these gaps. So, that wasn't the section I was looking for, but it was still very interesting and fascinating. Here we go, German Army boundaries. Boundaries for the German 6th Panzer Army, 5th Panzer Army, and 7th are printed on the map. Until the movement restrictions are lifted, which is December 20th. So December 16th through 19th, you're restricted. You have to stay within your boundary. The 5th overlaps the 7th to the south and the 6th to the north. You're allowed to attack across your boundary, but you're never allowed to move or advance. You're not even allowed to chase a retreating unit unless it's moving you closer to your own. So you can see here, this little squiggly here, we can move down a little bit south from this punch through, but I can't cut these guys off from communication until December 20th. So if I wanted to just do that, it's not even an option for me right now. Now these guys, this whole army here, in fact, can go as far north as this, which is way off the camera. So we can go really far north, but we just can't go all that far south. So arguably speaking, we could swing north and at least cut off these guys. But I was hoping to get these down here. Not gonna happen. Okay, so we're done, and now it's their turn. We're gonna draw their card, and it's a no command. So they're gonna do an engineer event, and that's it. Boy, that was three out of 4 of, no, look at this. We've drawn 5 cards, and 3 of them have been no commands. I guess that's pretty normal for the first day. Sorry, being distracted. Apologize. Bear with me. Okay. Engineers action or event. So I believe it's that crap where they're going to try to lay a roadblock, which this time it actually might happen. So it says place 1 per 15.4. So now we got to go to 15.4. I really do need to write down the roadblock procedure. Okay, the hex needs to be unoccupied. The hex has to have both a road and an allied position symbol. Okay, that just means it needs to be this, right? Allies can supply trace. Hex is not adjacent to any unit at the instant of the check, Allied or German, other than the moving unit. But why am I doing this? This is, we're putting a roadblock. This is the engineer event. Oh, come on. It says replacing a roadblock per, 15.4. I'm in the wrong section. Nope, that's not it either. Here we go. I was in the wrong section. A roadblock could turn into a reserve unit, but there's no roadblocks on the board. So that's why I was barking up the wrong tree there. Sorry, folks. So now we're doing place a roadblock marker in an unoccupied road position hex with a hold value greater than or equal to 3 within 2 hexes of a supplied German unit in Allied and German communication and not adjacent to an Allied unit. If there's more than one, it's in the highest hold value hex, then westernmost. And then, of course, on turn 16, we have to go to priority 4, which is going to put an improvement position. I think this is a pretty easy one to do. The roadblock, it's going to go right there. That's a 3. It's not a city. It's within 2 of a German unit. In fact, it's within 1 of a German unit. And it's on a road. It's within German communication. It's within Allied communication. So that's where the roadblock would go. I'm pretty darn sure. There's really no other... and it would probably qualify as the westernmost one, too, if you went up and down the rest of the map. I mean, you could look here, for example, but the problem is there's a U.S. unit here, so it would never go next to a U.S. unit, and there's no hold value. The hold position's over here, this number 2. So it is possible the roadblock would go there, but that's not a 3 or more. So, yeah, I think it has to be greater than or equal to 3 within 2 hexes of a supplied unit. Yep, it's that spot right there. Which is a big stinker because we just took this bridge, or we were just ready to... but anyways, that's their turn. That's their entire turn. So now it's our turn, and here's what's crazy. We now have to do a roadblock check because we started our turn next to a roadblock. So that's a different player aid. We need, I need to make a player aid that's has just everything I need to know about roadblocks, all in one place. Okay, so this one says, a German unit may not enter a hex with a roadblock at any time. So if a German unit starts an activation adjacent to a roadblock, if it was in supply or in a VP hex, we roll a die. Okay, this only happens though if you're activated. And we're not going to be activated because we just activated that whole core. So the, what is that, the 57th? XL, no, that's 40. 47th, and the LV is 58th, or 53rd. So the 53rd core and the 47th core have both activated. So these two can't activate this turn. If this unit were to activate for some reason, then we would do the roadblock check. But it can't activate this turn. So I already know what I'm going to do this turn. I'm going to activate the 6th Panzer Army, which is the ISS units up there. And we're going to get the yellow ones going. And let's see what kind of rabble-rousing we can do. This is a Strength 4 action. And yeah, so let's see if we can get to our VDH, the Vonderheit, and see what kind of damage we can do there. Okay, so let me get the camera up here for you. So it's the yellow ones. The gray, they're like the bluish bottom with the yellow top. That's what we're gonna do. And okay, so we have like, there's a lot to do, except there's also like, it's a little odd because we have, there's like a bit of a bottleneck going on at the same time. You have this guy here who is in an improved position, but I am feeling like the best way to deal with him is let's just cut him off from communication and fuel. So basically, let's just encircle him. Rather than trying to attack him, let's just encircle him. That's the whole point of this, right? Is encircle. But the problem I have is there's zone of control here and here, so I can't quite encircle yet. So then what do I do? Well, that's where I need to strategize. So there's a road here, so my movement is awesome until I get to here, and then I'm in zone of control issues. This is a forest, so it's 4 movement points for tanks to go there. So it's not a very fun thing for a tank to do. So if I'm trying to go from here to here, that's 4 movement points for a tank if I'm trying to skip the road. The infantry, though, is only 2. So these infantry here can all move here for 2. And then that is surrounding this guy, which I actually like the idea of punching through here because there's a fuel thing there. I don't know exactly what it does, but I'm pretty sure that on December 17th, when we start doing supply and fuel checks, it's going to matter. So I would love to punch a hole through there. So let's do that. And the other thing is, that heavy lifting by myself guy had a pretty cool strategy of cutting through here. And of course he didn't pay attention to this bridge, but now that bridge is ours, baby. And we can just plow right through it. So these guys with a 5 movement can go 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. And we also have, you know, because I did this 6th Panzer Army, I can do another camp group. So if I did it like that, you can see I'm triggering all of these guys, and I'm triggering him so he can help. I don't know if it matters. I really don't. What good is it to have one extra guy help us? Not very good, to be quite honest. The other thing I'm dealing with is just the issue. It's like we're bottlenecked. We can't quite push through. So let me ask this question. Oh, crap. That's another question. So here's where I'm at. Do I have to do all my move and then resolve my combat? Or could I have moved, resolved this combat, and see if he's there anymore? Because if he loses his zone of control, then these other guys can move through and have a better better movement options. So do I have to resolve all my movement first before I do attacks? That's the question. I don't have that answer. It's in the combat section. I remember that. That's where I read the... Okay, it says after you have completed moving your active units, you may attack. So I have to do all my movement first and then resolve attacks. So not quite as nice as I wanted. This would just be 1 movement to go there, but then what? So then I would move here to a clear space, which is only 1 more movement, but I don't know if I want to do that. This would be 1, 2, and then even with a tank, that's only 3 to go there. So I think that's the better move. A west wall is just whatever the other terrain is. So for an infantry, this is only considered a 1. So I can do 1, 2, like so. And then I can do, this guy started on 0701, which is there. But I think I moved him somewhere. Was he really just there in the middle of nothing? That would have been awful if I did that. I think he was actually here where he started. I don't think I moved him last time. And I think we agreed that this was going to be a 3 just to move there. Or he's moving along here, 1, 2, 3, 4. He's just going to join that group. So now actually I'm okay with the camp group command because this guy can help them attack this one right here. Although they have 2 units there, so that's a pretty strong spot. This one is an improved position. Yeah, the whole encircle thing is very slowly developing here, but I guess it's just 1 day, so okay, let's do this. All right, so now I'm going to do this attack first. And am I going to do that one first? I'm thinking. I have a reinforced battle. So that's what's going through my head is, do I want to use a reinforced battle? And if I do, where do I want to use it? So this is a really good candidate to do a reinforced battle with, right? I could move him up and have him join in. I can move him here and have him join in. Or I can just have this one join in from where he's standing. So yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a reinforced battle with this guy. So this guy was going to join in to the battle. All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 chits. We do have elite units and a 4 or more. And then he has 3 strength. And we have 5, 6, 7. Ooh, that's a 6. Plus 6 is 13. Plus 2 is 15. So we have 15 strength to his 3. That's a 5 to 1. I will take that. That's 5 to 1. And his minimum pips, by the way, is 2, and he's green. He's a green troop. So let me get this player aid open. Help out with the battle here. Okay, so the minimum chits is 2. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 chits starting. And then we played a combat tactic, so that becomes 5. And then we have elite units for 6. We have 4 steps for 7. And nobody's out of supply or anything else. So we have a 7 chit draw that we can do. We have to do a minimum of 2. So let's do the minimum of 2. And there we go. And I'm just checking. See, there are blue ones in there. We're just not drawing them. Okay, are we greater than or equal to 5 to 1? We are. And unfortunately, we are going to take a damage. Only attacker armor. Let me check what that means. Applies if only one side in the combat has armor units. That is true. They are infantry. We are only attackers. So that's a hit for him. So that's 3 hits for him. He's a 2-step unit, so I need 1 more hit. And I said we can go up to 7. So I'll draw 5 more. Why not? We're go 1 and then 2, and I have to stop. So after these 2, I have to stop and all these go in. And then 3, 4, 5. All right, here we go. Okay, is the 5th Panzer Army or Allied attack? It is the 6th Panzer Army. Oh, no. There is a 5th Panzer Army in here. Through the reinforced battle, I have a 5th Panzer Army on here. Oh, no, it says it applies only if half the units are 5th Panzer Army. So 1 out of my 4 is 5th Panzer Army, so it doesn't work. Allied air power, nope, so that one's out. Is it city or town? Nope. Is it a forest? It is a, let me check. It's a broken terrain. So a D-1. This is not helping. Only defender armor. Only attacker armor. There's another one. Is it dispersed? No. Is there a defender adjacent? No. Is the attacker elite? Yes. So here we go. These 2 cancel out. And you're going to see they're going to retreat twice and take, well, hold on. We got to play this out. They will retreat twice and take a damage. So, and then we take a damage. So let's do this. I have to always be careful. When my camera, I put it down, I could. All right, so he's going to retreat twice. So he wants to retreat here, but somebody said that since it's in my zone of control, he can't do that. So his, it has to be first priority, a hex that's not enemy zone of control. It says, within the above priorities, retreat into any terrain. However, if you're going across a river into a forest hex, not entered via road, you only do it if no other hex is available at all. So this hex is available. So his only move would be to go, well, actually, right there, he has an improved position, so that cancels one of the hits. So now he's down to... Oh, he's still going to retreat and take a hit. He has a D2. I didn't pay attention to that. Okay, so here's my dilemma. It says that he can't go into a hex that has enemy zone of control, right? So these are like priorities. However, it says within those priorities, retreat into any terrain. However, only go across a river or forest hex if there's no other... Oh, I see. So these priorities still apply, but if I had a choice between going across a river or not going across a river, I would not... Okay. So I have to go into a hex that's not enemy zone of control. And this guy has to go here. That's the only option for him. And then the blue triangle from here is there. So that's what he would do. Now, as somebody pointed out, he becomes dispersed. Where is a dispersed token? Here we go. So he gets a dispersed token, which does things, magical things. I couldn't tell you what they were, but they're all good for us. And he does take 1 damage. So he's not going to get eliminated, but he takes 1 hit. And he's dispersed. Okay, then we have the option of following him. So mechanized units can move too, but nobody else can. So I made a mistake here. I moved these guys 2 spaces. They can't do that. These guys, however, they all moved across a river, so that's the best they could do. And what I did was I moved these guys up and then over, right? But they're all infantry, so they were only allowed to move 1 space. So I have to leave them here because I wanted to get these guys across the river. That's the better priority. But by moving across the river, that was everything. They have to stop. They're not allowed to advance in a 2nd space. So I don't control this. So then when it comes to the roadblock, that roadblock would have been there instead. So, and I'm catching that because now I'm trying to do a similar thing here. So what it's saying is I can advance into the vacated hex, and then I can do another advance, but it's telling me that my 2nd advance can't cross a river. But I could go this way if I wanted. So, for example, I could advance twice like this, since these are all armor. And I don't see any harm in that. This one, I would advance up to at least take that spot and get him out of the west wall. Wasn't quite the encirclement thing I had envisioned, but I'm at least putting pressure down here. I think it's better than not advancing anything at all. Okay, so I'm now to the next battle. I'm gonna do this stack and this stack against him. And yeah, I'm just gonna do that. And so let's play it out. So the minimum chit is 2, because the enemy is green. Although the enemy being green doesn't seem to impact us. Okay, so he gets a minimum chip draw 2. We start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's going to draw. Oh, let's get these out of here. And 1 already plopped out. 2. All right, so large attack is defined as 7 chits are drawn. So we are going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is our minimum start. We get +1 for elite, that's 7. We don't have a 4 strength unit, and we're not playing a combat card. So we can get to 7 for a large attack. And so I think I will do that. This one says greater than 2 to 1, or less than 1.5 to 1. Well, let's figure that out. He is sitting on an improved position, and he's not in a city. So this is a 5, 10, 13, 15, 17, 19 to 3. That's what, 6 to 1? Yeah, 6 to 1. Okay, so looks like we're taking a hit. And I'm going to draw all the way up to 7 so we can get that large attack in. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So let's play it out. Large attack, or yeah, we're going to do it. We got another large attack. Greater than 4 to 1, yep. Greater than 1.5 to 1, yep. So we take 2 hits on this. Is the defender green? They are. They're not elite. That's for certain. Less than 4 to 1, greater than 4 to 1. All right, so we're actually taking a lot of hits in this. But we're doing a lot of hits too. So he has an improved position. So we're going to just cancel 1 for that. and get rid of his improved position. So he has 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 7 hits on him. I can assure you he's being eliminated. He's just a 2-step unit. So we overkilled this guy like no tomorrow. But just to show his retreat path, because I think it does matter for advancement, he would go into the fuel area and then he would try to go up here. But it doesn't matter, he's destroyed. So that part's a done deal. And then, unfortunately for us, we have 3 hits we have to absorb. Okay, so in our case, I'm leaning towards not injuring the tank, so all 3 of these are taking the hits. And they, of course, are going to move into the vacated hex, and then these ones will do the double move into the fuel. And now I got to stop and read what happens when I take this fuel spot. So thanks for watching, stay awesome, and I'll see you in a few.